I've retweeted bits from my own tweets. I am Will789GB, and there's some bits from this that I want to expand on during this show. A relevant one is this story in Wired, which I've retweeted. It's a link. An avalanche of generative AI videos is coming to YouTube Shorts. Well, I'm doing a lot more shorts because they are formatted for a phone. And if John was here, he would explain to me that most people now are using phones. I still exist around a desktop most of the time. John is okay, by the way. He's got a terrible cold. He's coughing and spluttering, but he might emerge sometime this week, later in the day. So I'm hoping to have more information about what he's thinking, at least for next week. And he may be here next week. Not quite sure, but he's interested still in ways of getting from text to sound to voice, and I'll say a bit more about that as it goes on as well. But this Wired story is based on rumours or hints from Google and YouTube about what they might offer as part of this remix approach which exists on YouTube. There's still Creative Commons, so if you're just a desktop person with the normal format of YouTube and somebody has chosen Creative Commons, then that's fine. You can work with that, and you can take any part of that and incorporate it into something else. But the shorts culture seems to be it should just be allowed. So you don't have to select Creative Commons. You just have to accept the terms and conditions. And a lot of video, therefore, is available to be remixed. So the remix button comes up, and you get a choice of 15 seconds or 30 seconds. And if it's from a record company, they start objecting. Sort of towards 50 seconds seems to be, but if you're just restricted to 30 or 15, seems to be all right. If you already know all of this, I'm sorry, I'm just rambling on. It just explains that we've got bits of video around this show, the We Not Know show, which you might find on Twittering or Blue Sky or other places. But this Wired story lists several other places that will generate quite a short, sort of 10 seconds of video from some other bit of video. So I'm still waiting on the options to pop up on YouTube. But in the meantime, there's other ones to explore, possibly. And then the other thing to mention, the Dalek video, which is just based on a still, because Chris Norton from the Wild Show and myself were at BETT. I'll say a bit more about BETT as we go on, and we met Source Dubious there, and he has got a photograph of the Dalek, which I can't find. Chris did meet the Dalek, and the only photograph we've got is of Chris looking at my photo of him and the Dalek. So that might turn up, but it was from 2017, so it's hiding somewhere. And it's interesting because the BBC did back this idea of a STEAM village, putting arts in the middle of science, technology, engineering and maths. But it's got lost. It's I don't know what's happened to it. STEM was included on some of the stands at BETT, but STEAM not so much. Whereas the other one I've retweeted is includes a photograph of the Send village and theatre. So that definitely was there. BETT is still promoting that, the idea of Send, which is special educational needs and disabilities. And I think we're going to concentrate on that. And the other thing to mention is the Learning Technologies show, which is not until the end of April, but I think can be discussed as part of all these things, because a lot of it is on loops. We're sort of repeating stuff from previous occasions, and 3 months is not a very long time. So if we're just looking at February, March and April, I think we can talk about all of it together. And also the Reader 2 pen, I think, is going to be at the Learning Technology show. And that was one of the most interesting things at BETT, because it was relatively cheap, relative to how the Orcam My Eye has been priced and is still priced. So I'm pretty sure John is going to be interested in this. He may not rush out and buy one, because it was admitted that the functionality is pretty close to what's available on an Apple phone, or possibly other phones. But there are some places where phones are not really wanted, and it appears that adult learning or vocational learning, training, whatever you think the scope of the Learning Technology show is, that's another place where they're going to be represented. And the other exhibitors, well, there's several exhibitors there, but they include Rapid MOOC, who were at BETT, and they're going more into live broadcast, which I hadn't realised. They tell me they've been doing that or supporting it for 3 or 4 years now, but I haven't noticed it at trade shows. But it means there's more of an overlap with radio or video, whatever you. So social media. I am getting to think about radio in a different sort of way as things go on. But Rapid MOOC is quite expensive, but it's like a studio setup, which is all set to go. And so you can, if you've got a set of slides and a presentation, you can create a video very, very quickly. And now it seems it's better set up for broadcast, so it's easy to connect it to a live YouTube or other streaming platforms. So that's the reason for thinking about Learning Technology, which is at Excel again. It's at another part of the building. They could have all these shows together where you'd get a bit more crossover between education learning and vocational learning and lifelong learning and schools. But it's both shows are quite massive as it is, so maybe it's a good thing they're spread out.